Previously, in a different timeline, Abishu and Avayath meet up with Wolf and the Poisoned Apple in the caves. Flynn casts Sending to Avayath, informing him the temple is in a dragon's den. The group uses the teleportation orb to travel to the ruins of Wick, seeing oddly shaped bones decorating the area. They are immediately ambushed by several golden wormlings, Wolf casting fear to get them to flee. Continuing forward, they find the wormlings being comforted by a young golden dragon, who doesn't give them the chance to explain themselves before attacking. After chasing several of the wormlings deeper into the temple, the young dragon retreats, causing the door to be slammed shut behind them. The unwilling party stops to catch their breath, knowing this fight is likely far from over.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go. On we'll go.
You guys have just stopped for a short rest before you decide to continue into the temple after having just fought those dragons and lost a little bit of your stuff. So you're just hanging out here for a short rest with each other, with your good pals, with your good friends that you love dearly.
Yeah. Though we're definitely not like glaring daggers into one another. We're just hanging out and being friendly.
Yep.
Avayath awkwardly twiddling his thumbs, being like, "So, how are you guys doing?"
Shut up. No,
I'm
just kidding.
exhausted.
Ibishu is sitting on top of like this big rock,
Of course he is.
away from a distance away from Avayath and the targets.
The targets.
But yeah, to Avayath's question, Ibishu doesn't really respond.
I figured.
Theo said, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, got barely enough of a night's rest after running for over a week now. So we are understandably tired.
Yeah.
Well, at least that'll be over soon, right?
Yeah, sure will, won't it?
Yeah. It'll be over soon.
Yeah, real excited about that. Really nice of you folks to give us that sort of offer.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a lifeline, honestly.
Yeah, after having to run for so long and having our trust betrayed so often, it'll be nice to finally get to put that behind us.
He says as he just stares Avayath in the eyes the entire time he says that.
And maybe even get back to living a nice life.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Trust betrayed. That contradicts what I've heard.
Yeah,
I've been told that you two are just killers, mass killers.
I already explained this to you last time we fought.
Theo's eye twitches and his expression, although he's trying to not be as down, that immediately sends him, and he sort of curls up on himself a little bit.
I don't remember fighting or you telling me this.
Very convenient.
I guess so.
You ever heard of Lemony?
He has, right?
Well, who would he have heard it from? Not Lemony. Like,
Yeah. In this timeline,
That's my dad.
in this timeline, no, probably not.
Never heard of them.
They're a fae who gathered a strange following. One of my folk, every Abergrim tiefling and the Abergrim himself stomped out of existence. So I lived my life imprisoned, and then I got my revenge.
Revenge? Doesn't really seem to add up.
When I escaped, I got all the other pale tieflings out, and we got our vengeance one way or another until eventually we decided we were tired of killing and hurting people. And that revenge really isn't filling this hollowness inside. No sort of vengeance can fill what you've lost. So we tried to stop, live our own lives until we were found and all of them were slaughtered, except me. And then I went to Wick on my last hoorah before I was cut down.
So they attacked you first then?
Absolutely. But then dear old dad brought me back now. And I'm here to stay.
I apologize for having a hard time believing all of this.
Yeah, don't expect you to. You believe what you want.
I'll look into it.
Good luck.
Someone of your high standing would do well to look into how the people below you are living.
Mm-hmm.
Avayath being like, I'll look into it after we have to murder you, unfortunately.
No.
He says, well, I've heard nothing but good things about the king, so I'll trust his word. I'll have a talk with him about it.
Yeah, you do that. I'm sure you'll get a completely unbiased source.
He kind of walks away just to sit in the corner.
Yeah. Theo leans on Wolf for comfort.
So when Avayath kind of comes within earshot of Ibishu scoffs, and he's just like, ridiculous. Tiefling aside, he's still a fallen one.
And as far as I know, they've still killed a lot of people.
Ibishu, he's sitting like on top of the rock, and he has like the one leg kind of dangling and the other leg like up, and he's kind of like resting his like chin on his knee. You know what I'm talking about? You know that pose? You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly
Yeah.
what
Okay.
you mean.
Yeah, okay, cool. I was like, I don't know how to describe. Okay, but yeah, okay. He does
The
that.
edgy sitting.
The edgy sitting. Okay. He's kind of peering at Wolf and Theo just from a distance, but there's no animosity in it. But he is just kind of inspecting.
Paint a picture, it'll last longer.
And he doesn't look away at all. Well, he does, but he looks down at his hand, and Avayath, you can see that Ibishu is holding a conch shell.
A conch shell?
A conch shell.
The magic conch?
And a magic conch. So he's kind of holding it up to his ear as he's looking at Wolf and Thea. And he's going to use his spark.
Okay, who are you targeting it at?
Thea.
Theo, what is your general emotional state right now?
Majority of his emotional state right now is misery. And then the secondary emotion would be hope. Since he's leaning on Wolf, probably a slight bit of comfort, but in general, sadness.
Yeah, you hear that coming through Ibishu, along with kind of like the slight sound of Theo's heartbeat that you can hear through the conch shell as well. That changes in tone depending on the emotion that you are receiving. Do you want to tell them what your ability is called, Zen?
I'll do it.
It's
after.
listen to the heart. It's listen to your heart.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. Come
Yeah.
on,
Oh
fuck you.
my god! I adore this.
Like, shut up.
Don't shut up, keep going.
So for the sake of the audience, Ibishu's Sparkless world kind of manifested differently from like the Shui that we know and love. Ibishu feels really disconnected from the people he's forced to like live with, because he sees himself as like a god, and it's hard for him to connect to people. So he wants to understand better, and yeah, that's kind of like how his spark evolved into what it is. So what it does is that he can conjure up this little spectral conch shell instead of like the spectral knife, you know what I mean? As long as he can see you, he can use his ability to kind of gather your like general emotional state. There's no like audible component or anything like that. So he just has the shell. But speaking of, I'm gonna use it on Wolf now.
Okay.
Okay, Wolf. General emotional state.
Tired. He's emotionally exhausted and distrustful. Has zero hope.
Zero.
No hope. And I would say his heartbeat feels deeper and more like resonating when you hear it.
Okay, got it. He sighs and kind of like clenches his hand shut, dissolving the spectral conch shell as he does so. They're right about one thing, at least. You are far too trusting of the king.
Am I? He is my father.
He tilts his head and he's like, I wonder about that.
Why?
Why?
Our color schemes match? No.
If I were you, I would just watch my back.
Well, I suppose that's always good advice. Can never be too on guard.
He might be your parent, but that doesn't make him any less likely to act in his own interests.
I'll keep that in mind.
Avayath's just here like, could y'all stop dissing my dad? Like,
Yeah,
That's my dad. That's my papa.
literally.
Papa loves me, this I know.
For my Bible tells me so.
It's really painful to play this.
Yeah. And like, it's funny that Ibishu was like, even if like he's like your parent, like even if you're like his child or whatever, that doesn't mean you'll like protect. He's speaking from experience. And moms didn't do shit. But also, I feel like that's kind of fucked up of him to say because like Avayath is a parent now.
No.
And I'm sure he would do anything for Philip.
I argue, yeah, he's probably the better dad.
I would
Until
sure
he
fucking hope
dies when
so.
Phil is like a month old. Like, watch your back. Anyway, has he seen Philip? Like, was like Philip ever like brought to
Baptized?
Yeah, baptized. Like brought to Ibishu for like a blessing or anything like that, or was it like kind of were they?
Probably, I would assume not because Claytor,
Claytor?
maybe an elemental god. Avayath still worships Claytor.
Oh. Okay.
So probably would not have been baptized in Ibishu's temple because that is not who Avayath and Rue worship. That was their first fight, was Rue being like, we should baptize him in the name of Elther, and Avayath being like, but Claytor's the better one. No.
Claytor, we're going to dip our son in quicksand.
This is not up for debate.
I am plunging my son into quicksand so he can be baptized by Claytor.
You got to pick the name, I get to pick the religion. But no, you may have seen him if Ibishu was just around, because it's not like they kept the baby in one room, you know. They probably had like a little stroller and took him around the kingdom, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You have a child, right?
Yes, my boy Philip.
He's quiet for a while after like kind of asking you that. Then he just kind of glares at you and he's just like, if you abandon that child, I'll kill you myself.
Why do you think I would do that? He means the world to me.
He turns away.
My top priority is to come home safe and sound so I can see my wife and my child again. Nothing comes before that.
What do you plan on doing about them?
If it comes down to dealing with them or saving myself, I'll save myself. That's the promise I made. And as for what to do with them, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't really like this whole arrangement.
Ibishu is once again staring. He has a staring problem. Glaring at Theo this time now.
It's rude to stare.
If he said that, it's ignored.
Yeah, he would say that, but he's also not surprised that he's ignored.
Ibishu just slow turns his head to stare at Avayath instead.
But yeah, he speaks up. How did you fall?
Theo is startled by the question because, just the word fall. And he looks up quickly, and he looks a little shocked to be asked, I guess. He looks like he tries to say something, and he looks to Wolf.
It was my fault.
No, there was an incident when we were traveling, and there were people who nearly killed him. I didn't mean to do all of that. It was just a reaction. Almost instant. If we could do it again, I wouldn't do that.
It's not your fault. You can't control it. The way it manifested. It was my fault for being too out in the open.
He looks like he holds back from protesting because they've likely gone through this a million times.
100%. They've had this conversation constantly, for sure.
And he bites his lip and looks back to Abishu.
Cassie, from what I know about chosen ones and fallen one is they're usually a chosen one before they fall, or like...
Yes. Besides supposedly Vermona, who I think Estel said, I think she was born fallen or something.
Mm-hmm.
But usually, yes, they are a chosen one, and then they fall. It's like the final evolution kind of thing. It's the only time a chosen one spark can change, is if it changes for the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Or for the worse.
Weren't you already the chosen one before you fell?
Okay, before Theo answers that, was he?
Your chosen one ability in this universe probably would have been the ability to cure any ailment.
Nice. That is amazing. Theo, he looks pained. Well, I didn't choose to be that either. If I could go back to that, I would. I would much prefer what I used to do.
Even with your presence, they still attacked. The tiefling. He doesn't remember the name. I don't know. Did Wolf ever say his name?
No, but you would have been told it.
Okay. Okay, got it. I won't change what I said then.
It's not like I had an offensive ability. I couldn't fight back that well. My ability was more for healing. So nothing that I would do helped very much.
Well, whatever. Doesn't matter now.
Yeah, the context doesn't matter to you folks.
I'm tired, he says, and he turns his back to, everyone, and closes his eyes as he waits for the other people to get the benefits of the roster.
Do you want to roll a perception check?
Who, me?
Yeah, because you looked at the door.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Oh,
Not 20!
I love Bishu. Yeah, plus 7.
What was that laugh, Cassie? You see when you're kind of looking away from the group and turn towards the door, it looks like the door at one point seemed to have some kind of seal, lock on it, but you can see where that was. It looks like there's a handprint, almost like a cookie cutter handprint that goes straight through the door, where that lock would have been.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, so maybe I don't close my eyes just right now. And to, I guess, Avayath. Maybe somebody got here before us.
Oh? Why do you say that?
The lock on the door, it's been removed. Points at the handprint. Let's just hope the item we came for is still in there.
Yeah, we have to check. And if it's not there...
Yeah, what happens if it's not there?
It's not like we wouldn't have followed the instructions, right?
Yeah, what happens if we were brought here and just happens to not be there already?
Then that means you'll have kept your end of the deal. And you'll be free to go.
Is that right? And the king will just be alright with that?
I'll explain to him what happened when I get back.
And if he decides that's not good enough?
I'll try to convince him otherwise.
I'm sure you'll put in a good word for us, yeah.
Yep, I'll say that you did what you were told.
Very noble of you, Paladin.
Mm-hmm. Least I could do.
Sure is the least you could do.
As he's like gritting his teeth. Just the least I could do.
The least I can do. Cool. Ibishu's just gonna continue, I guess, kind of watching the door and resting for the duration of their break.
Why is he gonna whistle and throw rocks?
That's so annoying. Can I zap him? No, I don't do that.
Literally. That's so. It's like, well, who would have thought the prince would be so annoying?
After time has been, passed enough, Wolf will stand up.
We ready to go? I think we've waited long enough. I want to be done with this.
Ready to go.
Eager to get to freedom.
Yes, I think I've caught my breath enough.
Goes up to the door.
Avayath will say, it looks like the lock here has been damaged. Could be someone who came here before us, so just be on your guard, I guess.
Tries pushing the door.
Very easily, you slide it open.
What does the handprint in the door, door's lock, look like? Does it look like it was intentionally put there, or something dissolved through it?
It looks like I explained it, like a cookie cutter. Like it goes all the way through the door.
But does that look like by design, or does it look like someone...
No, it does not look like it's by design. It looks like it's literally partially going through a lock, like it was sliced like it was butter.
Okay, yeah. As Wolf looks that over, he'll just take note of that and just be like,
someone's got a powerful ability to just melt through stone.
Hope we don't run into them.
Yeah, sure hope not. It'd be a shame. Let's get going.
You all continue forward deeper into the temple.
Has sword at the ready as they're walking, because we know there are dragons in here somewhere.
Because you didn't kill them.
Yeah, because that wasn't part of the deal.
They keep running deeper and deeper into the temple. We're not going to have a fucking
I know,
choice.
we're going to fight 17 dragons at the end of this fucking temple, 100%.
Cassie really wants these dead baby dragons.
Yeah.
You all enter into the next room, and you immediately see, upon coming in, this giant skeleton of the remains of a dragon left behind. And as you come in, you can see kind of glinting from its neck what appears to be a sword with magical energy kind of imbued coming from it. And crawling over the skeleton, you see the young dragon from before. Peering from above you, there's kind of streams of light coming down, and you can look up and see that the young dragons, the wormlings, had flown up through those cracks in the ceiling and appear to be looking down.
All right.
Oh.
Well,
Do we see any other hidden dragons in the area?
No, I would say not. Just this one, which has recovered a bit. It's the same one from before, the young dragon. And it kind of crouches down onto all fours as it looks to you and growls.
again, we don't want to hurt you. We just want that sword.
Are you with that woman who was here?
Don't know her.
You reek of the same stench, two of you do.
Two of us? What's it smell like? Pampered or stinky?
It seems to be looking at Abishu and Avayath.
Two of you smell like the woman who came through here before. What'd she do?
You just see its eyes flicker back to the skeleton behind it.
Interesting.
We didn't send her here.
It just growls at you.
Do not come closer.
Does this dragon speak in common?
This is the one that can talk, yeah.
I promise you, we don't mean you any more harm. We just need the sword.
Is the sword more valuable to you than your life?
My mother protected it with hers.
You'd be safer if you let us Go, you have others to care about.
Looks up to the baby wormlings.
These people here, these two, won't stop until they get that sword. And if they are stopped here, they'll just keep coming until they get the sword. I'd rather you survive along with your kin than have to continue fighting for your lives until eventually you fall.
Then what did my mother die for?
For you.
To protect you all? The one she cares about? I imagine your mother would care far more about you living than protecting that sword.
I will let one of you roll persuasion.
I hope it works.
Do we have advantage because we were both sharing trying to, convince?
Sure.
17.
Let me look at this dragon. I would say at that, it seems to be hesitating, especially after you've kind of looked up and noted the babies that are just kind of like looking down. And it kind of goes up and nudges its face into the skeleton on the ground very sadly and glances back over to all of you.
I don't want them to take it.
And it's looking at Avayath and Abishu.
I don't think they can.
The two of us can come and take the sword, alright?
Just you two.
Alright.
Theo looks over to the other two and nods to them to see if they agree.
Ibishu looks irritated.
I don't know if Avayath would agree because they have to get the sword.
Wolf will whisper to Avayath.
Once we get out of here, we can finish the deal.
I can agree to that.
Just gotta get the sword.
Do you want to roll stealth for this conversation?
Sure. I'm not very good at it, but sure. 7. He didn't say he'll give them the sword. He said he'll finish the deal.
What deal?
We're fighting for our freedom right now. They wanted our assistance to get through this temple.
He's telling the truth.
Insight.
He's telling the truth.
I mean, but you're leaving information out, so that's still
Okay.
deception
I can
in a
roll
way.
deception. Yeah. Come on, Wolf. 19.
You got a 10. So you see it kind of, again, move over and stand defensively near the sword, waiting for you to approach.
Let's go, darling.
Right.
I understand what it's like to lose the people you care about. I'm very sorry that all this has happened to you. I hope that by this sword being removed, perhaps you can get some well-earned peace. I mean that. I'm very sorry.
It stands close by and lets you approach with one hand kind of right next to that sword, kind of waiting for you to grab it.
I'll grab the sword.
No,
Pull out-
don't!
Well, it has to be used, right?
Theo was said to have to touch it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Then
I have
will
to
wait
touch
for
it first.
Theo.
So if Wolf's going for it, Theo holds his arm back and he's like, I have to touch it.
Right. Right.
Watches anxiously.
Theo hesitantly goes up. I would like to investigate this sword.
Sure.
Okay, 12 for investigation.
It seems to be like a silvery sword with kind of a green tinted handle with like a gold vine kind of wrapping up the handle.
He looks over to Wolf, gives him another nod, really to ease his own anxiety.
It'll be alright.
Takes a deep breath and he will put his hand on the hilt.
All right. And the second you grab it, you kind of see some of the magical glint to it start to fade a little bit and then almost like come back again with even more fiery force than it was before, as it seems almost like it rejects you and it pushes you away.
Theo releases the hilt like he's been burnt.
Are you alright? What happened?
I don't know. I just was picking it up, but it's like it didn't want me to.
And as you do that, you hear kind of like a soft whistle kind of coming from nearby. Damn, I wish that would have worked.
Looks
Turns.
around.
You can see on the other side of the skeleton, kind of close nearby, this like whirling kind of mist of blackness. starting to very quickly form into a person who is lingering in the shadows.
The hell are you?
Shui and Avayath, you would recognize that immediately. That would be Vermona.
Vermona, what are you doing here?
Just to give you a little more insight of who she is in this world. So Vermona, you both would know in this world, she is a famous fallen one who became a mercenary after reaching an agreement with the capital. She has a very deadly spark that can disintegrate whatever she touches, and is usually sent after large targets, like, for example, a dragon horn.
Who the hell are you? Who the hell is this?
Someone who's definitely not supposed to be here.
No, I'm supposed to be here. Why the fuck are you here? Did the king send you? Did he think I needed fucking help?
The king sent me, he told me nothing about you. Or are you one of the mercenaries who didn't come back for whatever reason?
I told him to give me 3 days.
3 days?
She looks around to the other ones and she's just like, well, you got the fallen one to come. I guess they really do have to be a chosen one and not a fallen one. That sucks.
Theo stumbles back and clings onto Wolf and is like, I think our way out has just been closed.
Stubborn fucking sword.
Before you even have the chance to grab it, you see it starts to disintegrate as the mist that's coming off of her comes over and grabs it and just puts it into dust, and the dust swirls back over to her and into her hand and reforms. Well, I guess I'll just be taking it then.
You work for the king, you said.
Sometimes. If you're here, you still have a bounty on your head, don't you? She looks to Theo.
Wait. We've agreed not to hurt them in favor of them helping us get the sword.
You got any confirmation of that?
I'm the prince, why would I lie about that?
Do you have any confirmation that I can see?
I don't have any confirmation, but you can ask the king yourself.
Hold on, let me get in touch with my contact. And she seems like her eyes flash for a moment as she whispers a spell.
Theo, hold on to me.
Yeah.
And she's twirling the sword absent-mindedly in her hand as she seems to be going back and forth with someone for a moment. And then she looks back up again. Okay, I think I see what's going on now. And you see her turn to that mist again, before suddenly she comes all the way over and is directly in front of you now, Avayath.
Hey, that was unexpected. Shall we go back then?
Yeah, sorry, I just got a better offer. And she's gonna try and hit you. And let's roll initiative.
All right.
The king wants his ass dead.
Hello everyone! Have you joined our Discord yet? You should. We have a vibrant community of artists, TTRPG fans, and other passionate folks with areas to talk about everything from Chosen One's theories, to pet photos, to debates about why Claytor is factually the hottest god. The link is always at the top of the description, and we hope to see you there. A big old thank you to our high-tier patrons, Spectre324, Spirit, Bigreddog, Keilan, Bubby, Zab, Charles, and Mr. Bakudan. If you haven't already, make sure to like the episode and leave a comment. We'll see you soon, fellow Sparks.
Yeah.
I
was just gonna have Theo lean on Wolf.
Could you repeat, just say, I have Theo lean on Wolf?
I was just gonna say that Theo leans on Wolf.
Oh no, sorry. You misunderstood what I'm saying. So I can cut out the part where Zen tries to interrupt you. So you just say,
I didn't do it on
Theo leans on
purpose.
Wolf.
You can stop that. Zen tries to interrupt Shayna. Stop! No.
Theo leans on Wolf for comfort.
There you go.
Good line read.
Yeah.
Everybody turn the page at the next part of the script.
Okay.
This is the singing part. No.
This is where the song comes
The
in.
musical number.
Yeah!
Oh my god. No,
Love this part.
Wolf's.
Should we start singing? It's tough to be a god.
No, Wolf's. His whole speech could have been his musical number.
It's true, yeah, he just recounts what happened, and then Avayath's like, cool, I'll look into it. Why'd you sing? Because he walked away.